need a sec. I'm waiting for the muse. You can see the problem, right? When you rely on muses, rituals, or getting in the zone, creativity is totally out of your control. What is creativity anyway? Mojo, magic, talent, a kind of lunacy? It feels like excited energy, but it's actually a quiet cycle that repeats in your brain over and over again. 4 phases of thinking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whether you're trying to recreate the Mona Lisa or come up with something that rhymes with Bob, your head runs through this cycle of 4. The 4-phase thinking cycle is called deliberate creativity, and it's based on the current science of how creativity works and why it sometimes just doesn't. It's based on earlier thinking models, including foresight, developed by Dr. Gerard Puccio in 1995, and creative problem solving, developed in 1952 by Alec Osborne and Sid Parnes. 1952. That's 70 years of research, observation, and development of tools that help people create better. Are you surprised by that? There's a lot of valuable information that you can use to help you create deliberately, predictably. And the research shows that even if it is predictable in its process, the results are neither predictable nor mundane. Better experience for the creator, better outcomes, better creativity overall. Deliberate creativity has 4 thinking phases, 4 creative goals: clarity, ideas, structure, and finish. And each phase addresses a different creative goal and requires a different way of thinking, a different mindset. It helps to be aware of this cycle because then you know where you are and where you're headed and what tools you might need. So for me, deliberate creativity is kind of that secret, magic, powerful, hidden Swiss Army knife, amazing giant key to creating with ease and satisfaction. Usually, creativity seems fickle at best, elusive and impossible at its worst. That's why we look for mojo. We seek magic. When it's not working, we have no idea what the heck we're doing wrong. And that's because this science is not typically shared with regular creative people. You know, writers, painters, cooks, gardeners, dancers, inventors, comedians, filmmakers, songwriters. We are usually left out of this knowledge base. Much of this science was pursued in service of business innovation. And there's a whole industry of creativity practitioners. I was one of them. I was a professional brainstormer for 25 years. And if you put me in a conference room with M&Ms and magic markers and pizza, I could pump out ideas on cue for any client. American Express, Warner Brothers, Kraft, HBO, Nickelodeon, you name it. I could do it all day long. And after a couple of hours in that conference room, the account execs would shoo me away and say, "Okay, brainstormer, go home now. Let the grown-ups work." Meanwhile, I had my own things was wanting to create, and for some reason I just couldn't. I knew I was creative, and of course I thought it was because I was lazy or dumb, not careful enough, not talented. It is sad, hard, and hurtful when that happens. Maybe you feel like your ideas aren't good enough, or you have a great idea and no clue what to do next. Maybe you're good at helping ideas blossom, and you think that's pretty creative too. You're right, it is. There are ways to be creative, many, and we might excel in one thinking skill and be woefully inadequate or unhappy in another. And some people only respect one way of creative thinking and belittle others. Go home, little ideator, you child. We'll do the real work. This criticism comes from others, but it also is inside our own heads. We might think, what you do isn't creative. You're a clown. You can't do the real work. A real artist is meticulous, skilled, talented. You're none of those things. Oh, and the classic, who do you think you are? Excellent creative minds are sidelined as a result, and all their creativity just goes to waste. What's worse, it is painful to be silenced or to hold yourself back. Creators pay with compensatory behaviors like drinking, shopping, speeding, eating. I think I've done all that. And their families pay, and society pays, not just for the mental health or physical conditions that stress can cause, but for the unrealized dreams and ideas that could address the problems of our world, large and small. As I said, I didn't recognize I was stuck. I thought I was all the things that people called me: a scatterbrain, a flake, a child. And that's why it's so important to me to get deliberate creativity out to everyday creators. We sit in our offices, studios, and at our kitchen tables, and we have these unique ideas and visions that if they were produced, published, and planned, they could help nudge our world in the right direction. You might wonder how deliberate creativity works and why it makes a difference. As I said, it identifies 4 thinking goals: clarity, ideas, structure, and finish. How does that help? Well, first, it's your creativity to-do list. We usually think it's just like one thing: write or paint, kind of yell at ourselves in our to-do list, right? But this breaks it down. 1, get clarity and identify the challenges and intentions up front. 2, explore ideas and push yourself to wild, weird, and unique possibilities. 3, structure the work. Select, perfect, and put the work into its best form. 4, finish. Ship, as Seth Godin says. Press send. Publish. Share your work with someone. Now, secondly, it's the map. It's the map of the route your brain takes on a creative quest. Clarity, ideas, structure, finish, Remember, this is an observed process. It tells us how it works. You don't always need it. If you're creating and everything's working, go. Speed down your creative highway and don't worry about it. Third, it's the 24/7 on-call help for your creativity. If your creativity is stopped or stalled, it's the first SOS call you make. It's your free tow back to creative reality. This is get out of a ditch help, the home button on your GPS. You go back to this thinking map, you see where you were last, you see what comes next, and then you do that. For instance, maybe you have clarity and ideas, but when it comes to structure, you sink into dread and indecision. At least now you know where you are and how to get help. You might need a structure tool. Or maybe you have loads of ideas, but you never clarified what you need them for. And you've written 10,000 words of questionable value. Ugh, pain, delay. Fourth, it can help you know and love your own creativity. This is perhaps its best function. Coming to understand and appreciate your thinking preference. Which of the modes charges you up? Which drains you? You can figure out where you excel and where you stall. It's all good because knowledge is power and self-knowledge is self-love. As I said, I'm a strong ideator, but a terrible clarifier. I don't like it. I try and skip that phase. And guess what? I get stuck halfway down the road. And before I trained in the science of creativity, I thought there was no help. I just had to sit in that ditch and feel bad. There's the cycle, and then there's how you fit the cycle. And we don't all fit it the same. The cycle is universal. It happens in every brain. But we as creators are anything but uniform. You probably have one or more parts of this process that are fun and easy for you. You'd like to hang out there. You could get stuck because you're just having too much fun. You probably have one or more thinking phases that causes you to pump the gas and the brakes at the same time. You make no headway, and eventually you probably quit and give up and blame yourself. So think about it a minute. Which aspect of creating comes easily to you? Which phase bogs you down? Clarity, ideas, structure, finish? Where's the strength and where's the struggle? Now, when I get stuck, I know I probably didn't clarify. I stop and I use a clarity tool, which helps my foggy brain define the vision, and ta-da, I'm up and running again. There's always a tool that can help bridge that gap. Science. The world would be a better place if we could get our ideas out of our minds. Creative people are the best weirdos. We have observations, thoughts, and insight into human nature. We want to share. We want to help. We want to create something new and useful. And when we can't, it's frustrating. And we've seen the ripple effect in our families, communities, and workplaces. With deliberate creativity, you can just quit judging yourself. Quit apologizing for what you aren't. Do your fun part brilliantly. Use a tool for the hard parts. And finish. The world is significantly bettered when empowered and creative thinkers master self-expression and get seen and heard. Thank you.